Hello, good morning, good afternoon, whatever time of day you're joining me at home. My name is Beth and I'm about to take you through a short spinal articulation flow. This one's really great for helping you focus in on the detail in spinal articulation exercises. I found it really beneficial when I want to release into that lower back, which is sometimes really hard to find, and it's great for finding that C curve. So we're going to get started. So I'll ask you to come onto your back. So I'm going to pop that head down onto that mat. Feet can be flat onto the floor, and just place your hands on the tops of your thighs there. Nice. We're just going to take a nice deep breath in through the nose. We've got a long breath out of the mouth. Brilliant. We'll just go for one more there, just using this big cleansing breath to sink yourself down into that mat. Nice. So the hands are on the tops of the thighs now. I want you to really press your thighs away from the hips. So what I'm asking you to do is to feel like you can press the thigh bones away out of the hip sockets there. It doesn't look like I'm doing much, but just see how long we can hold this for. Just continuing to breathe nice and deeply. And I'm just going to pause there a moment. I'm going to go again. So what I'm trying to do here is just feel a little bit more opening across the hips, maybe feeling a little bit more length across the base of the spine there as well. And I'll just go for one more moment here. And that, lovely. So I'm just reaching for the backs of my heels here. So my heels are actually quite close to my sit bones there. Heels are in line with the sit bones. Feeling a nice and wide across the front of the shoulders. A little tip, turn those palms to face the ceiling and then place your hands back down onto the mat. So you just feel a little bit wider across the front of the chest there. I'm going to start to move into some bridges. So take a nice deep breath here. And then with that breath out, I'm just going to lift those hips, reach them up towards the ceiling, lifting that lower back, mid back, upper back. And then with that breath out, melt myself all the way back down. So for these first few, not thinking about spinal articulation too much, just warming up through the spine a little bit, really feeling the wrap of the sit bones as those hips lift up towards the ceiling, pressing those feet into the mat, reaching those knees forward, feeling that length across the front of the body. Nice. And then starting to melt myself all the way back down. I'm now starting to think about that spinal articulation. So tucking that tailbone under, feel those sit bones wrap round, lifting that lower back, mid back, upper back, pressing those feet into the mat, reaching those knees forward, finding that lovely ski slope position right from the navel all the way to those knees. And then release from the upper back, mid back, lower back, and then finally those sit bones come down last. Nice. We'll just do one more like this. So really indulging in that articulation, thinking about opening across the front of the body, opening across those hips, soft at the ribs, finding that ski slope position once more. And then I'm going to pause here and pop the hands behind my head. So I'm going to move into a little bit of articulation to help find the C curve here. So as I start to melt down through the upper back, mid back, lower back, I'm coming into a bit of a chest lift. Here, finding that C curve, shoulders really rounding off the mat. And then I rock myself back up into that bridge position. Nice. Take a big breath at the top. And then with that breath out, roll myself down into that C curve. And then lift myself all the way back up. Nice. Trying not to really come too far here. Really trying to maintain that C curve position. Keeping those sit bones wrapped round. Really reaching those shoulder blades off the mat as we come down. And then feeling those shoulder blades come back down onto the mat as I lift my hips up. We've got 2 more like this. This next one I'm going to hold down here. I'm going to start to play with the transfer of weight. So the right foot is pressed firmly onto the mat. Can I lengthen my left leg out long? And then pop my left foot back down onto the mat. And then that right leg reaches out long. Pop that right leg back down. So this is really about maintaining that center of gravity here. It's quite difficult, quite shaky. You can probably hear it in my voice. Nice. We're going to try and do both. So can we reach both legs out long? And then pop both legs back down onto that mat. We're going to do that once more. Nice. Both legs come back down onto that mat. Lift those hips back up towards the ceiling. Take a breath there. And then use your breath out to come back into that chest lift position. Reaching both legs out long. And then we're coming into that 100 position. So really reaching those fingertips forward. We're going to breathe in for 5 and out for 5. We keep going, nice and strong warm up. Thinking about those shoulder blades coming off the mat. Can we keep reaching those fingertips forward? Nearly lost count, I think I'm on 7. We go for the last 2 rounds here. In for 5, out for 5. And then bring those legs into tabletop. Head returns to the mat, feet come onto the mat. Have a gentle rock side to side. That is a nice spicy 100 warm up. So hopefully what you found there is really releasing into that lower back, finding a little bit of a deeper C-curve position. Just a nice little variation on the bridge and the chest lift. Nice, I'll just shuffle myself forward. I've moved back a little bit. Brilliant. So we're now going to come into a little bit more abdominal work in this position. So let's float one leg up into tabletop. And then that other leg will come up into tabletop as well. Nice. We're going to pop the hands behind the head once more. Take a big breath in here. And then with that breath out, find that chest lift position again. So we're rounding those shoulder blades off the mat. Elbows pulling you forward here. So elbows are just in that peripheral vision. Take a big breath in here. And then with that breath out, can we rotate through that upper body? The left shoulder blades rounding towards the right knee. And then bring that left leg back into tabletop. Chest comes back through center. And then we go the other way. And then we come back through center. We're thinking about trying to keep the rest of the body nice and stable here. We're just rotating through the upper body. Rotating with the shoulders, not the elbows as much as possible. Nice. Final 2. And final 1. Take a breather there. So we've got a little progression that we can add on there. So if you want to bring both legs back into tabletop, we'll pop those hands behind the head once more. Take a deep breath there, and then with that breath out, bring yourself up into that chest lift. Gorgeous. So we're going to play with double leg stretch now. So can we reach both legs out long, bring those arms out behind us, circle those arms around, grab the back of the knees. Nice. And then we go again. So we reach those arms out long, reach those arms overhead, circle those arms around, and hold onto the back of those knees. Beautiful. This time we reach both legs out long. Can we curl up, find that teaser, really thinking about maintaining that C curve, reaching those feet towards the ceiling. We're here for 3, 2, 1, and then roll yourself all the way back down with control, and just take a moment there. Nice. Brilliant. So a lot of work on the abdominals there, really helping you to find that C curve position. And we're just going to have a nice little hip release. So we're having our legs out nice and long. The left leg is going to stay out nice and long, and then we're going to bring that right leg in towards that chest. So really pointing those left legs, those left toes away from the hip. Can we press the right shin into the hands? So it doesn't look like I'm doing that much here, but I'm really pressing that right shin into the hands, really feeling that opposition. I'm just going to hold this for a few breaths. We've got 2 more here. And one final breath. Release that shin. Bring that right foot back onto the floor. And then we're going to really think about pointing those right toes away from you as you bring that left leg up towards the ceiling. Then we're just going to start to draw some small little leg circles. So can we bring those left toes out towards the left side, down towards the floor, back in line with your center, and then back up towards the ceiling. And then maybe gradually start to make these circles a little bit bigger. But what I'm really focusing on here is keeping this right hip nice and heavy. So that shin release work we did will really help us to keep this right hip nice and heavy. We've just got 1 more in this direction, then we'll go for 5 more, the other way. I lost count. We go for 1. So I'm drawing 5 circles the opposite way, really focusing on keeping this right hip nice and heavy. Last 2. And final one here. Beautiful. We're going to lower that left leg all the way back down. Just take a moment there. Bringing that left shin in towards your chest. So the same move again. What we're really doing is pressing that left shin into the hands. Really finding that opposition. Again, probably doesn't look like much is happening here, but I really want you to focus on pressing that shin into those hands. Nice, just a few more moments. Still reaching those right toes long. Nice, last breath here. And relax. Left toes come onto the floor. Left leg is reaching out nice and long, really pointing those left toes away from you as that right leg floats up towards the ceiling. Now we're going to go for those hip circles once more. So again, really focusing on keeping that left hip nice and heavy. I'm going to start small. Doesn't matter how small or big these circles are. Really just focusing on hip stability and really trying to keep that upper body nice and steady as well. Last moment here. Nice. We've got 5 more the other way. We'll go for 2. Final 3. Last 2. Nice. And that's number 5. Pop that foot back down. Really nice. Lovely. And to finish with, we're just going to do some nice little roll-ups to build on everything we've been working on. So we've opened up through the hip. We've been practicing our spinal articulation. So I want you to reach those arms overhead. Find the opposition, so reaching those fingertips away from the shoulders. And then we reach those fingertips up towards the ceiling. Pause there for me. I want you to take a breath in. Then with that breath out, reach those fingertips up towards the ceiling. Shoulder blades coming off the mat. Can you see my shoulder blades are really reaching forward? And then we start to curl ourselves up into that C curve. Nice. And then we come all the way up. Once those shoulders are over those hips, build ourselves up to a nice neutral spine. Take a nice deep breath there. And then with that breath out, roll off those sit bones. That lower back comes down onto the mat first, sending those toes away, opening up through the hips as I start to articulate through my upper back and then reach those fingertips back overhead. I'm going to do that twice more. So reach those fingertips up towards the ceiling. Take a pause. Use that breath out to come into that chest lift. Really scoop out that belly. Find that curve in that lower back before we build ourselves up to seated. And then use that breath out to come back down. I'm rolling off those sit bones, sending my pelvis away, reaching my feet forward to open through the hips. And then we come all the way back down. I'm going to do one more there, and this time I'm going to focus on not gripping through my upper body. It's something I know I do. So reach those fingertips up towards the ceiling. Come up into that chest lift, shoulders rounding off the mat. Scoop, 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 scoop. Build myself all the way up to seated. Take a big breath there. And as slowly as you can, indulge in that articulation all the way back down towards that mat. Lower back's coming down towards the mat. We've got the upper back, the mid back, I should say, the upper back. Relaxing through the shoulders as those arms reach overhead. Take a nice deep breath there. And a big breath out. We'll go for one more deep breath all together. Nice. Bring those hands down by your side. You can bring yourself up to seated, however feels good. Thank you for joining me for that short little spinal articulation flow. Hopefully a nice little bit of release work, working through finding some C curves, some chest lifts, and also opening across the front of the hips. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed it.